I have a very interesting theory about Kana. Now, as we all know, Kana's been hiding something. She's, the person that cannot move, and she has to speak through a freaking, machine. Well, here's the thing. We find out a couple episodes ago, Kasumi says she most likely could move if she wanted to. Now, we find out this episode that this person called Valkyrie, hopefully I'm saying that correct, is the person that can destroy the entire world. That's how strong they are. Now, as we saw this entire discussion going on, Kana seemed very distracted. Like she didn't care about the conversation, or she tried to avoid the conversation and try to get that conversation moved fast. So either Kana has been face-to-face with whoever this person is, or she is that person herself. So a lot of questions there. That is my theory I'm going to throw out there, because Kana seemed to be very detached in that entire conversation. So, one thing. So the main focus of this episode is pretty much the pills cannot be made until half a year. And so now we have our time limit. As we all expected, there is a time limit on all these witches, and they will die soon, in under a month. And so, what are they going to do to be able to save them? I mean, what is our main male character going to do? I mean, if we think about this, Murakami is at a wall right now. I mean, he has to go to a lab, find a lab, and steal pills from the fucking government that almost killed him the last time he did it. So, in the ending part of this episode, he has a phone, he turns it on for the first time, and in German it says, if you kill all the witches, we will tell you the answers you seek. So, exactly what does that mean? And so there's a lot of questions there. What exactly is that place on the phone? Like, where's the map leading? Is it leading to the lab? Whatever it is. Very good cliffhanger. One thing, though, that got me about this episode is they skipped the opening song. I mean, the opening song actually played, but we didn't actually have our opening song this episode, which I am fine with. They actually took the time that they would usually place an opening to actually have plot development, and they had a good, decently paced episode that progressed well. So right there, that was fucking awesome. I'm happy that they decided to do something like that, because it allowed, the entire series to progress. First part of this episode is pretty much the professor talking to our main male character, saying that he was going to try to work on these pills, try to make them, and see if he can reproduce them constantly for these witches will not be able to die. And I'm glad, the professor kicked in. He's definitely a fucking badass. I mean, I have such freaking high expectations from that professor since last episode with his fucking facial expressions. You know what I'm getting at. But also, there's one thing about this episode that was interesting. We had some romance development between Kuroha. Kuroha actually had romance development, so did Kazumi. They had romance development. Like, Kazumi was hitting on her main male character. I mean, she's been doing that almost every episode since she's been introduced. But she actually was saying the best time of her life was right there when she was going to the maid cafe. And it just goes to show you that this girl, even though she's very pervy, and we've seen different sides of her, she's a very caring person, and at the same time, she's starting to fall in love with our main male character, so I like that a lot. Overall, I think this episode was good. It really just sets up the tension for later on going into the series. I mean, because, as we all know, this episode is mainly there just to say the pills cannot be made in a month. And pretty much we find out about the message on the phone at the end. And we find out about this, world destroyer Valkyrie that can kill everybody on the planet. Either if it's not Kana, most likely it's that person in the opening song with the white hair that's fighting Kuroha, since Kuroha is the only person that can supposedly stop this person. So, that's my only theories I have on that entire part, but overall, go give this episode a watch. Surprisingly, there wasn't a lot of gore in this episode. I mean, I expected fucking gore, violence. I mean, we've had that almost every single episode. We didn't have that. I mean, I'm fine. I'm glad it took the time to develop characters, and if it was not just me, didn't Kasumi have a lot of death flags this episode? I mean, did anyone else not feel that? Did anyone else not see that? She had too many death flags to not be killed soon, and Kasumi is one of my favorite characters of this series. It pissed me off if she would die. It would really piss me off bad. But, I mean, she had a lot of death flags. So, we'll have to see how next episode goes. But, anyways, tell me your thoughts on this episode. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.